I have a Maiev game for you today. Now, I could have picked Diablo or Rafam here, which are both better heroes, the Lich King maybe, but they're pretty boring and we know they're all good. I want to experiment with different heroes and I've heard a lot of good things about Maiev, so I'll show you how you make her work, because I think she's actually in a pretty decent spot. Turn 1, I always like hero powering because a +2/+2 buff is actually quite a big deal, and I was able to like buy selling at a free roll anyway. Here's my pair already, so if you didn't figure out by now, you just stay down and use your hero power a lot and roll a lot, trying to hit triples. I do value tokens a lot because, well, tokens are still kind of busted, economy is great. Here's my first triple onto the Murloc Tidehunter. I have a Sally on board, another pair locked away, life is looking good. One thing though is that you have to like realize it's 3 turns, which is massive. So for that reason, I'm probably not hero powering this Murloc here, but buying it, because otherwise I would get it on 9 gold, I think, which is pretty late. I'd rather just hit an earlier spike, especially since, you know, 4 drops are pretty good, 5 drops, they're kind of whatever, but there's no pirates in this lobby, 6s aren't amazing, so instead I'll just freeze it. Now, because I have double token, I want you to freeze right here and figure out how I take 2 triples. If you've seen some of my videos, I'm pretty sure you can figure out how to take 2 triples in this spot. And if you don't, I'll show you. You want to sell your main body here, buy the Murloc, and you can generate the token triple, and then next turn you'll get the main body triple. So if you figured that out, congrats, you're a good token triple player. Anyway, I'm gonna just take a 4-drop here because Avenge. I have 2 reborn taunts on the board, so an Avenge card would be godlike to hit here. Great tempo, great value, great things all around. I missed these, all kind of suck. I guess Promo Drake has most potential if I find Terragosas on tier 3. Or some dragon stuff, but I'm up against the HysteriA, so maybe because there's HysteriA in the lobby, it's more likely that Shaker is gonna end up being better here, especially since I just rolled double banner board. But hey, I can't predict the future. I'm just gonna level and take a 5 here. We could just take another 4 if I still believe in Avenge, but if I take a 5, I can just roll into Avenge stuff next turn and use that 5 for tempo. Now, yeah, 5s still aren't amazing, these kind of suck, but Agam, you know, I somewhat believe in the menagerie recently, and there's a banner board in my shop, so I have 4 tribes, I have at least 1 gem guaranteed every turn, and we still have another pair, so maybe I could actually try and force menagerie. Now keep in mind, this game was played on stream, and I just wanted to have a little bit of fun and mess around. That's why I took Maiev in the first place, to try different strats, and right now, that's why I took Agam, and I'm gonna lean into Menagerie, because I think most of the time, you know, the Demon Taunter is good because it's another tribe for Menagerie. It also helps us in case we hit Impatient Doomsayer, and with the change of this 4-drop Necrolites, it also plays 2 gems, so it's technically like the 1-drop kill board that gives you 2 gems, so I play 2 gems onto Agam. And yeah, I feel like I just want to try and force Menagerie and see what happens on my Maiev. We still have another pair on the board, like I said before, so we can still pivot into other stuff. And I'm just very laid back. This dragon sucks, we'll get rid of it and just set up our board better, because buffing a Promo Drake just doesn't seem worth it to me. I'd rather just keep my pair around, like mentioned, and keep the Murloc because it triggers with Lookout. All the other tribes are basically just more useful to me. Now, one thing I'm also going to mention is the late game hero power of Maiev drops off, because obviously 3 turns is a lot, so having to hero power something to only get maybe when you're dead is just pretty shit. I only hero power when I have the extra gold left, and I don't really see the point of rolling, but that's why I hero power this Domo here, I guess. Now, there is some stuff I could do here. There's also green thumbs with a bunch of Avenge stuff, but I decided to just push the level because, you know, I'm gonna play Menagerie. And this turn as well, like I have 3 gold left, it's better to just buy this Quillboar instead of roll twice and hero power, exactly for the same reasons that I just mentioned. I don't see the point of rolling something probably doesn't help me and just like forcing myself to hero power it. Now there's a Light Fang. In most cases you ignore this. Light Fang is pretty shit and we don't have a great Menagerie anyway, but I want to try stuff out and experiment, and I'm uploading this video to YouTube, so that probably means that my experiment was successful, right? So let's see what went right this game compared to when you very often try to force Menagerie. So far I'm on 26 HP, which is pretty okay, but I've had a pretty strong board. I'm playing a lot for tempo. Like early Menagerie and early Agam is actually still pretty okay. It just sadly doesn't have the scaling capabilities of other tribes in the mid-late game, and that is why it is not as great right now. So how are we going to solve that issue? Well, you'll see in a second. Right now I'm still just playing for tempo, taking great buffs like +5, +5, +6, +6, have 2 gems, I have Light Fang, so I should be able to keep up. I'm mainly rolling for this triple onto taunt. The reason I'm keeping the taunt, like there's better cards that I can put on the board, like this Mitrix for example, but the reason I'm keeping it is because I still need another spike, and it's not that weak. Like it's a 4/4. It could still be good if I play like, I don't know, an avenge card for a turn. Like there is worse cards to, or worse spares to keep on the board. They just can't stay around for much longer, which I do realize. So next turn is like the final turn. I can maybe keep him unless I face a ghost and I can greet, but that's probably not happening. I'm too healthy for that, and I'm facing the top guy. So now what is the late game plan, right? Because we're not getting that with a single light thing or with this Agam. Lookouts. We want to go to 6 and hit amalgadons. Amalgadons is, I mean, the best endgame if you ever have a shitty menagerie, because like I said, menagerie doesn't scale well. So best upside from menagerie is that you can get really amazing amalgadons with a lot of adepts. So that's what I'm doing. We hit the triple. Perfect. I have to sell Lightfang. I have to sell something here. Lightfang is just my worst card on the board. Maybe this could be an amalgadon. That's I guess the best hit. Caligos could be okay, because I am gonna start playing a lot of battle cries with these lookouts. And there is a Caligos. Chalga is also tempting, but I think it's never staying on the board anyway. It's not gonna be that great. We could hit like Pig and maybe Transition, but I think Caligos is just a little bit cleaner. And I'm freezing the Mirror Zone because I'm up against a dragon player, 5 dragons, so we could hit a pair on Caligos maybe, And here's the Domo that I hear power like a couple turns ago, just pretty useless, right? He does have a Caligos, so this Mirror Zone might be able to help us high roll into a dragon board. Let's find out. And other than that, we do have 2 lookouts in the hand, so the best thing to roll would still be a Bran, because we can just Bran, lookout, get a bunch of amalgadons on tier 6 and be great. Because we're facing a ghost, we just go to 6. I'm gonna play it here, because I can't really hold on to Mirror Zone. And sadly we missed on the Caligos. We'll just roll. There's a boar, so I guess, Trogla maybe could have been decent. But yeah, the taunt finally is gone, the 1-drop that's been on my board the entire game. We'll finally let go of it. We're finally on tier 6 as well, so the shitty as board with just nothing but stats, we're probably gonna try and upgrade now. I'm also playing the lookouts already because I do feel like I need to get a bit stronger. I'm still very weak, and I want this Nadina. I don't want to freeze for it, so I could hold the lookouts again for a Bran, but well, we found a Amalgadon, but I want this Nadina this turn. I don't just want to freeze here, which is the main reason I make this play. So selling the dragon first so I can play a token and get my money back, and then play Amalgadon. And we have a lot of tribes on the board. I think most of the time it should be alright. And we got lucky, it's fixed. So you don't even need Bran necessarily if you already have a full menagerie board. Like I have 5 adepts, right? Dragon, Demon, Quillborn, Murloc, Elemental. Yeah, like a perfect board. And now we can just buy Nadina, hold it in hand, and we have 2 decent dragons to shield. I guess Caligos isn't that amazing yet, but we can still pop off with it. We're up against Flurgle now, who is in the lead. So Flurgle in the lead is pretty scary, 30 HP still. We find Bran, 1 turn too late, but I'll still take it because again, like one Amalgadon isn't gonna cut it. We need multiple. How do you get multiple? I see a seafood slinger in the shop. So that's one way to get multiple. You can either golden your own Amalgadons on the board and then discover more, or you can like golden Amalgadons that you roll in the shop, or just golden a lookout and discover a bunch. There's multiple ways that you can go about doing this. I'm also taking these 5-drop Tavern Goers because they're literally free. Sometimes they give you money if you get a Elemental or a Refreshing, which I got on both of them, and it could give you Amalgadon. There's also a what's it called, the 4/4 that refreshes your tavern with the same, how can I not remember the name anyway, but I can't really force it giving anything. Like I have a full menagerie board, it's always going to give me something random. I could force it giving me Murlocs if I play 1 more Murloc on the board. For that I would have to sell something, probably the taunt, and I want to keep the taunt for now because it's my only taunt. If someone plays a massive cleave, I'm kind of screwed. Although there is no cleaves in this lobby, so I guess it doesn't matter that much. I just don't want them sniping my stuff, I guess, or my Nadina before I get value with the Amalgadon. We're able to beat this guy. He wasn't that big actually, so he just hit Bran and didn't have poison yet. I don't know how he's so strong, or maybe we're just strong. I have no clue anymore. This is a very weird Maiev game. Usually I feel like Maiev either high roll super hard or dies early. I don't think we high rolled super hard. We just like played for some tempo menagerie stuff, and then we go into a high roll and try to capitalize of it. So we hit a second Amalgadon here from the lookout. I'll golden my Amalgadon on the board, not the lookout. Remember that, because then I can discover more Amalgadons with lookout. Because if if I golem my lookout, I discover more amalgadons, I would triple this amalgadon and that would be bad. But anyway, we're popping off here with the brand lookout stuff, so that's why in a Murloc lobby I think you almost always go to 6. Now, if there's no Murloc in the lobby, I don't really like going to 6 because there's no Seafood Slinger, no lookout, so you can only find amalgadons by either rolling them naturally or getting them from Tavern Tempest or Stasis. It's just less consistent, but yeah, if you have a shitty tempo, weird game, I always go to 6 and try and make something work. And you see how that can easily snowball. Like, the Scaligos, look at how big it is already and how many stats it gave us compared to if we sticked with the Light Fang Agam stuff, right? So don't stick with Menagerie like I wanted to do. I wanted to force it. But okay, so the HysteriA has a Nadina as well, and they have the cheat dragon, the pyro, you know, what's it called? Prester in the back. So they're gonna be pretty good against me. This Nadina doesn't do shit. And my Amalgadon is still gonna die to a stupid, well, 3 damage hit from that guy, and he gets a shield on my Amalgadon, so overall it's not looking too great. But actually he doesn't have stats. This guy has like a lot of perma drakes, but not that many stats on their Terragosa, so we're able to beat him. Sadly enough, not kill him, which could be annoying because they might be able to beat us in the late game using the Prester and a bunch of dragons and Aldina. Although we could also find a Prester with our Amalgadons and try and do something along those lines, although it's a lot harder if you're not just full dragons, and my Amalgadons will have taunt very likely. Now, this Muralzond is amazing because we face the dragon board. We could get an Adina from that. We could get Caligos from that, which they also had. I found double Muralzond, so probably could even hit a triple now because with Bran, double battle cries, it's amazing. I could also hold them against this Galakron because I know Galakron is also dragons, but you know, might as well try and get stronger here because I don't just want to die to Galakron with 2 Muralzonds in my hand. There's another lookout now. I'm able to play it almost boomered, but we want to just get another Amalgadon. We got it, finally. So now we have 3 Amalgadons on the board, and I still want another Amalgadon. 3 Amalgadons isn't enough, I want 4, okay? We've been on tier 6, I mean, for quite a while. I'm still freezing for this +12/+12 buff. Whether that's worth or not, I'm not sure. Probably not, which I realized in hindsight. But yeah, this guy is also Caligos, Nadina, and has an Amalgadon. So I guess it would be better to hold against them because, you know, I could hit Amalgadon as well from Muralzond, which would be amazing, which I didn't know, but you know, hindsight thinking. Lucky enough, there's no Prester on their board, so they can't just cheese my Divine Shields. I were able to kill him. Also massive, another dragon player down. So let's see who our opponent is gonna be. Seems like the Murlocs weren't able to get there in the end, so we're just up against the HysteriA. That could be annoying, and I have no clue what the hell Vol'jin is doing. So I froze for this buff. I'll just take it, I guess, but I don't think that was correct again. And there's a triple on a card that I don't even care about, but because of the Muralzonds, I just have a pair on. Terragosa is also a pair that I could triple, I guess. Now, the only card I can really sell here is the Cyclone, since Galig also gets a shield and still is a lot of buffs, honestly, with all the battle cries I'm gonna play. The Bran is too valuable, and so is Nadina. So look at our board now compared to our board from like, I don't know, 5 turns ago, how much it switched into just from Scuffed Menagerie into this beautiful Amalgadon board. I had another Seafood Slinger, so I can make another Amalgadon Golden, meaning I can discover again from Lookout. Let's try and get this 4th one. Sadly we missed, but you know, we have a lot of tries. Seven is still just a random poison on the board, and there is a triple onto the Terragosa that I have sitting in my hand. We could also just discover a Amalgadon from a triple, I guess, which would be pretty good. Sadly, not the case right now. These all suck. I don't know what other 6-drop we would honestly want. There's no Maxna. Otherwise, we could try and go for like Maxna Reborn stuff. But yeah, like this is probably the strongest endgame you can try and go for. Now, I have had a game with like 4 or 5 Amalgadons and then 2 Nadinas, but I lost surprisingly to, you guessed it, Dragons with Prester, because Amalgadons are almost always taunted because you have so many adepts, and then if people just put random Divine Shield Dragons first and have Prester, they will just kill your Amalgadon for free and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't give it a shield back with Nadina, you can't try and get value, you're just screwed. So I think this board is pretty much Exodia, like the strongest you can be, except for Prester Dragons. I think is an entire new realm or an entire new tier, and that's why HysteriA is so amazing when she high rolls. By the way, it's final fight against the Vol'jin full gen. I didn't find a fourth amalgadon sadly yet. I'll just end on this poison, and to all in I'm gonna sell my brand and play Selfless, because you know, let's try and kill him and just get this first place with a very beautiful weird menagerie Maiev. I hope you enjoyed or learned how to play Maiev now. I know Maiev used to be one of the best heroes, then she fell off because her hero power got nerfed, but I still think she has a lot of potential. I picked her here over Rafam and over Diablo just to experiment, and every time I've picked her I've done really well, and I think her win rate is also pretty decent. I'm losing a lot of flips here this fight, like it seems like I'm getting pretty unlucky, but we just have so much stats left. I don't think there's a way we can lose this, and he hits my plan, so that has to be GG. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. If you didn't see my one tip for every hero yet, that's a video I worked a couple days on, go check it out, and I'll see you in the next one.